Warning, this is the High Performance Zone. So your question was, so how do I know to scale? Like now I've got my Magwinya business in 3 corners. How do I get it around the country, right? It's a bit like saying to the general dealer in a township, what's the difference between you and Pick n Pay? Because if you really think about it, a retailer is a retailer. They take a brick building, they put goods on it, they put prices on the goods with a shelf talker. When you go and pick up the goods, you go to the front, there's somebody who helps you, usually a cashier, you pay them and you take the goods. So why is the one listed and the other one, you have to work it every day? And it's because of how you gear it for the growth of the business, right? The point is, just on that alone, you could run an entire masterclass. Just like, where do you focus? Where do you grow? What are the key areas that are important? Let me answer your question this way. The first thing to understand about scale is you will get it wrong. Nobody scales right the first time. And if they're scaling right their first time, here's what's happened. They've raised money and they've got enough money to pay for the sins of failing so you can't see it. I've never met one guy who scaled the first time and got it perfectly right. Doesn't exist. If that was the case, then EOH wouldn't be going through what it's going through right now, right? Those of you who don't follow the EOH story, EOH is a listed IT stock. And for like the past decade, they were the best performing IT stock in the country, like doing really, really well. EOH's model was very interesting. They were going around and buying small IT companies. And so the revenue growth of those IT companies showed on their top line is their revenue growth. And to buy those IT companies, they weren't actually using cash. They had some sort of mezzanine structure. So they would give the entrepreneur who started the IT company a little bit of money, but they'd pay them a predominant amount of money in the shares of EOH. So as an entrepreneur, because as an entrepreneur, your biggest risk is that you're locked in. You are your business. When you die, your business is gone, right? So if I'm thinking about my family and I go, how do I make sure that my enterprise value I can leave to my family? If I listed my company, then I could sell all my shares as the majority shareholder. So that was the idea. Join us as EOH, and we'll give you EOH shares, which are listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and that's a part of how we pay you. Great story. One tiny, eeny-weeny little problem, which is all these companies you're buying are different names, different cultures, they work in different industries, they sell to different people, and they do it in different ways. When you're a listed company, you can't have the word different anywhere. Because if I'm a shareholder buying your shares, I've got to know that you know exactly what you're doing, that you've taken the right precautions from a risk and a regulation perspective. So where did they get caught? They got caught with state capture. When it turned out that some of the small businesses they bought were facilitators of major contracts that facilitated the state capture project. Now, I don't imagine the people sitting at head office knew. Maybe they did. Who knows? I mean, I'm very good friends with some of the executives who've just left there, right? And Stephen, who's taken over, is a proper risk guy. But Stephen, who's just taken over that business, is coming to turn that company into a bank, which very simply means no deal's going to get approved unless he sees it. You think the rate of growth of the EOH share price is going to be the same? Of course not. It's going to slow down now, right? But even when they scaled, the model of scale they used, when you look at it, you go, oh, this is a fantastic scale model. Yeah, until the rubber hits the road. Yeah. Here are, I think, 3 things I would give you. We do this in our accelerator program. So we have an accelerator program that we put entrepreneurs through. It's a 12-month program. We're actually launching our next one, I think, in a month's time. And this model isn't new. Any of you here who've done like some sort of management studies, you would have seen this model. So we go, what is the functional area of your business? And then we go, how robust are you? Very simple. And again, this isn't our model. It's all over the place. So it looks something like this. So from a functional area perspective, we would go, sales is a functional area. Marketing is a functional area. HR is a functional area. IT is a functional area. Legal, functional area. You know, there's an entrepreneur sitting in this room right now who's a one-man show who's looking at this going, what is he talking about? Let me tell you, you are doing all of these every day. You're just not realizing that you're doing the different stuff. Vusi phones and says, can I please buy? You're now a salesperson. But before Vusi phoned and said, can I please buy? You posted a post on Facebook. You were a marketing executive. At the end of the month, you have to pay yourself a salary. Now you are HR. To send Vusi the invoice, you send an email, but now you are IT chief. And before I pay you, you send me a contract. Now you are legal. Yeah, one. Did the penny drop for you? Did you? You're sitting here like, yeah, he's right. Eh? This is me, Chief. Chief, this is me, man. Hey! Yeah? So you're multi-skilled, right? And remember my comment about being dangerous enough? So first, my like model of growth is first do all of them. Then hire people to do all of them. Then you'll hire people who manage the people who do all of them. What most people just want is to have the perfect business that has managers who manage the supervisors who supervise the people who do all of this. That's going to take you time. It's not going to come overnight, right? Nothing worthwhile actually just doesn't come without effort. So these are functional areas. Then the question you got to ask yourself is, what do I need in terms of people? Yeah? What do I need in terms of process? Yeah? And what do I need in terms of technology in each of these? So let's test this. I run a business. I am a company that sells water. Everybody these days is in the water business. So I run a water business. So from a sales perspective, what would I need? Let's imagine my model is something like this. Tell me if this sounds remotely familiar. I'm going to go and make 1,000 liters of water, and I'm going to bottle them each in 500 milliliters, which means I'm going to have 2,000 bottles. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find young kids in townships somewhere standing on corners, and I'm going to give them my water. I'm going to say to the kids, you sell the water. I'm going to sell the water to you at 5 Rand. You sell it at 7 Rand. Yeah? And I'm going to call these kids entrepreneurs, which they're not, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to tell everybody about it. And I'm going to go, this is what I'm doing. Check me out. Right? Done with good intent. But I want to show you why this model is important. Done with good intent, right? So now I've got 50 kids out there selling my water. Okay? The kids don't know anything about the manufacture process of the water. I probably don't know anything about the manufacture process of the water. I just get the water, right? But these kids who are selling are now my salespeople. They're not really entrepreneurs. They're my salespeople. I've got to have a process of recruiting the right people, because if I get the people wrong, I've got a huge risk. I've got people who control my products and who can sell it and not pay me, and I don't know them. So there's got to be a way about recruiting the people. Then I've got to have a process. When do I deliver to them? Every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday? When do I collect? When do they collect? What's the process that they use to tell me how much quantity they need, how much demand they have? And I've actually got to document that process. And if I'm smart and I'm thinking like a scale entrepreneur, what I really want to do is go, rather than do this myself, I'm going to find some sort of technology that I can put in place. Hey guys, here's a system, a platform, an app. Put in all your orders, all of your information. That way, at the beginning of the new week, I know exactly how much demand you have for the rest of that week. Yeah? And I would document all of this. And I would do it for every single part of the business. That's how you scale. And this is a living document. Mine is sitting on my Evernote on my dashboard. So it's a living document. So I know where the weak spots in my business are. And I go, oh, wait, so on marketing, we're really, really great on people. Or we're amazing on process, we're just terrible on people. Okay, so the process works, I just need to find really good people. Make sense? And sometimes it'll be the other way around, because the business goes through variations. Sometimes it'll be the other way around, but it's the same dashboard I'm looking at, and I'm making decisions about how to scale that business. It's the only way to do it. One last thing about scale is not for everybody, right? Like sometimes it's actually, guys, I probably was the happiest when I was self-employed. It was so nice. It was just me reporting to me. It's cool, like, there's no leave days, there's just none of the stuff you have when you have a firm. There's no lethargy, there's no inertia, there's no so-and-so is fighting with so-and-so is not getting on. It was just me. I used to listen to Ridi Tlabi in the morning, just me. It was cool, right? And that's why many people who say they want to be entrepreneurs actually mean they want to be self-employed. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. The life of a guy who's a real entrepreneur who's scaling that business is actually not quite all that attractive. They don't sleep, those guys. Because the minute you become an entrepreneur and you're managing 1,000 moving pieces at a time. It's 1,000 moving pieces at a time. So every single shop you open, every single branch you open, every single employee you hire, every single new client you onboard, you literally it changes this complexion of your business. So you're never off, even when you're off. You're never on leave, even when you're on leave. You're constantly and consistently thinking about this system. How do I make it better? How do I make it function better? Yeah? Cool. Next question.